Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate. This is our Star Wars Unlimited podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. Tonight, we have a different episode for you. We have a lot of the same stuff, but we're going to introduce a new segment, something that Alex came up with that we wanted to do now that we all have kind of a setup for our cameras. So we've kind of expanded the podcast, and we're going to be able to introduce a new segment that will not be on the show per se, but will be on our YouTube exclusive to that platform, and that's where you'll have to catch it, but we'll explain more in just a few minutes. We're also going to be talking tonight a little bit about Han 1 Yellow. So I think we got to talk about the presence in the PQ scene. We're going to go over some of the numbers. We're going to kind of look at the statistical analysis overall. What is it looking like? What is it not? Why is he here to kick ass and not chew bubblegum? I don't know. But we're going to be here talking a little bit about that, as well as we have, we're going to transition our Academy training segment. And tonight we're going to be starting our coverage of each of the different leaders with their bases and kind of talking a little bit about, how the leader is, what the scope of the deck is trying to do, where you can get that deck, in terms of how you can play it in your locals or your PQ. And if you don't want to play that deck, how you can counter it. So with that being said, let me bring in my co-host for the night. Please welcome to the show, Mr. JJ. Your hat still sucks. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing all right. We got a brand new year, testing out our brand new stream setup here. Still working at the Kingsware, but it's exciting. It's going to enable us to do some new things, hopefully in the future for us here. So looking forward to the future, man. We're going to have a great 2025.
Awesome. Also joining me on mic, back from his illness, or kind of back from his illness, is Mr. Alex, the bench warmer. You played some PQs though this weekend, so I'm excited to hear about your weekend results.
A store showdown, not quite a PQ.
Okay, all right. You played in the store showdown, not a PQ. Which one did you go to this week?
I went to Sylvan Factory in Ann Arbor, which I just found out about like Friday night when one of my buddies asked me if I was going. And I went, and I didn't build a deck because I just never got around to doing that. So I brought like my yellow Boba Fett deck. That's just like a fun weekly thing. And I went 2-2. Although probably should have went 3-1. That last game was just kind of rough. Lost to Sabine. I don't feel like that deck usually loses to Sabine. So, but it was a fun time. I haven't been there in a little bit, but it was a good store. It's just a little bit far from me. It's like 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, actually, that's my brother lives in Ann Arbor now, and he came back for the holidays, and we were trying to like go through stuff. I was like, "Hey, have you played SWU?" He's like, "I haven't played SWU in forever." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like you live in like by Ann Arbor. There's like at least 2 stores over there that play it." So, awesome. So glad you did that. I also played in a store championship this weekend, but there was 4 of us, so it's more of like a local hangout and for fun thing. And I originally was hoping to test Thrawn out, but when I showed up and it was like 3 other people, I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna play Thrawn and the guys that know how to counter that. Like, I want to test it out like in an actual store championship environment. So I've got a couple more coming up that I'll be playing in that I just want to test it. So I just want Thrawn to be good. That's like all I care about is can Thrawn just be good. But yeah, so anyway, so it was a fun weekend. I got to play a lot of Unlimited this weekend. Been playing some more at our local scenes, all that fun stuff. It's just kind of one of those things. But having a lot of fun playing. Whereas normally I kind of, had taken 3 weeks off almost before our PQ, 2 weeks, where I wasn't jamming very many games, wasn't going to locals. I mean, it's holidays and all, but getting back into that rhythm, it was kind of fun to be able to play. And this week, I think at our locals, if we only get 3 or 4 of us that show up again this week is committed to testing out decks for our PQ. We got a PQ coming up here that Alex is actually going to as well in Lansing in about 3 weeks. So my wife was like, "You're not getting a hotel room, are you?" And I was like, "No, it's only an hour away. I'll just drive there." But I feel like getting a hotel room just to come party with Alex. So, so All right. Well, before we get into any of our stuff, I want to go over a couple of different things that the guys and I have been talking about. So we've been kind of reevaluating our podcast a little bit, and we're going to add a new segment that we're going to tell you about in just a second. That we were really excited about. We really hope that is super fun for y'all. But the first thing is we've decided to stop recording this live and presenting it live. I don't know if the views aren't. We used to get a lot of views when we did our YouTube or our X-Wing. It seems like everybody must be in bed on a Sunday night or watching football. So we just kind of said, all right, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to have a recording day, and then we're going to present it to you, and we're going to kind of change our format up a little bit of how we present it to you. We're still going to put it on YouTube as its own episode, but we're also going to start breaking each of our segments down and releasing them throughout the week. So that way, if you want the full episode, you can watch it on Twitch, and you can listen to it on Podbean. It'll be a full episode. It'll have everything that we're going to do for the week included in there as well. And then what we're going to do is break it down. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, man, I hate 2 hours, you're in luck. We're taking it down, baby. It's going to be a lot less time than it used to be. So with that being said, Alex, you want to introduce our new segment?
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. So I've been kicking around an idea in my head of just really fun, kind of silly, casual. I wouldn't even say like format, just like fun things you can do in SWU. That's not just like, balls to the wall, like competitive stuff, or like, hey, we're doing drafted sealed right now, so we're gonna focus on this. And I made a similar thing for X-Wing, so I'm just like, hey, I could just do it for this. I also want to do it locally with one of my buddies. So I called it the Rondell of Disappointment in X-Wing. I'm probably going to stick with that name because that's just how it is.
We are, baby. That's the graphic now.
The Rondell of Disappointment.
Yep. Just wait till you see the intro in a few seconds.
Oh boy, I hope the wheel spins. So yes, basically we're going to put all the leaders that are legally able to play. Sorry, Boba, that would be kind of broken. All the leaders on a little spinner, spin it, and that's the leader we have to play. And then another color wheel for the color that we have to play. So like, spin the wheel, you get Gar Saxon, spin the other wheel, and then you have to play a green Gar Saxon tech. So good luck with that one. And then we'll play against each other. I'm sure we'll briefly go over what deck we brought, why we thought this would give us a better chance of winning, and go from there. Seems really fun and silly. Definitely something I would enjoy.
Yeah, and what we've decided is, so in an effort to comply with FFG, right? Like our goal is we're going to do webcam games. So we've never done those before, so you'll have to forgive us. And we haven't decided if like one person's going to commentate while the other person plays the games. I don't know how we're going to do 100% that yet. We will work that out in the next 2 weeks, but that is going to be our new segment. And to kick off our new segment tonight, I have an amazing intro I'm going to play for you, and then we're going to actually spin that wheel. Welcome to our Rondell of Disappointment. We are going to go ahead and we're going to spin that wheel. So we're going to, first up is JJ. JJ's first pick of the night.
All right. Let's see what we got. Set 3 leaders.
You got Mace. No, you don't get to spin. I spin, baby. I spin for the camera. You don't get to spin.
I'll take Mace.
You got Mace.
I'll take Mace.
All right. You ready? We're going to pick your color.
Do it.
You got blue, baby.
I'll take it.
Mace blue. That's what you got. So for all the audience, if you didn't hear our intro earlier, essentially what this is this is us building. We're going to decide random leaders with random deck colors. We're going to build a deck and then face off against each other on a live stream. So super fun. All right, Alex.
Blue Mace, come on.
You're
come
up.
On, easy mode.
You're getting pre-Vizsla. You get Pre-Vizsla.
Should have clarified first which ones. What color? What color Pre-Vizsla?
All right. Well, we do that. I'll spin that second. Here we go.
Come on, not mono red.
You're getting blue too. Jesus. All right. You're getting Pre-Vizsla blue.
Blue Pre-Vizsla. Oh no.
Yep.
What do I do?
I got a deck for you. All right. I'm spinning my deck. Let's see which leader I get. I'm getting Ray. I'm getting Ray. If I spin this next color wheel and it is blue, then this is rigged.
I hope it's yellow.
Nope.
Please
Ray
be-
green. I got Ray green. So
Hey, second deck. JJ,
All
now
right.
that you got Mace, are you hoping for another leader?
All right, hopefully something
villainy?
from, you know what, let's go old school. I want to set one leader. So hopefully something good like a Vader or even like a Sabine is easy mode, honestly. But
Jyn Erso.
Han, Jyn Erso, yeah.
it's not either of those. How about a Boba? You're getting Boba.
Hero
Green Boba?
Yep, Hero Boba. No, it's Hero. Yeah,
I'll take
they're
that.
both
Yeah,
green.
I'll take Hero Boba. Yep.
All right, and then we're gonna spin for the color. Oh, it's green! It's green, baby! You're getting Hero Boba green. You're doing double green. Oh, God.
And I can't re-roll the green, damn it.
No, you can't re-roll nothing. Nothing. All right, Alex.
All right, fine.
We're gonna roll for your
green
second
Boba.
deck.
That's gonna be. I don't even know what you do with that. Okay.
You're gonna run command, I bet. That's what I bet. All right, here we go. Come on, wheel.
Okay. Something more interesting than Pre-Vizsla.
All right, we're gonna spin that wheel. Alex's second pick of the night. Here it comes.
Not Chancellor Palpatine. Not Chancellor Palpatine.
I want them to give me Chancellor Palpatine. You got Grand Inquisitor.
Okay.
Now we're gonna go for your color.
Not green.
This one's gonna be. I don't know. This will be easy. It'll be any of them. It's blue.
Blue
there
GI.
you go.
I
Grand
can do
Inquisitor
GI.
blue.
And then blue Pre-Vizsla. All right. Different decks. I swear.
All right, gonna spin for my last one. I get Sabine. Who put Sabine in here? All right, we're gonna re-roll that. I'm not doing Sabine. We're just gonna re-roll it because that's definitely not fair.
You could do Sabine. I don't know.
All right, I got Anakin. We're gonna keep Anakin. All right, hopefully not blue. Please not be blue. Please not be blue. Give me yellow, actually.
Mono red Anakin.
It is mono red Anakin.
Yes.
You got it. You got me.
Twice the pride.
Oh. All right. Twice the pride. Oh, you know what that means? I could run Mr. Bones, baby.
Yep.
Mr. Bones. All right, so that is it.
For 5.
He does. That is it right now for our Rondel of Disappointment segment, our brand new segment where we pit random decks against each other and see how they play. Look for us in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll have our first real episode up where we actually are playing each other. Those are the decks. Maybe we'll even keep like a document, like a Google Sheets or something with win totals and what we're playing and all of that. Maybe we'll do that. That might be fun too. All right. Well, that is the end of our Rondel of Disappointment segment. So that's going to be a new thing that we're going to do. We got some cool things. I did re-roll Sabine. I won't lie, just because I don't think it's super fair. Though I guess red Sabine or blue Sabine would have been interesting, but next time we'll just spin the color first and then the leader. That's how we'll do that. With that being said, we got some spoilers this week. We got some. They had a stream as well. So why don't we get into our news segment right now? Our Galactic Gazette. Welcome to our Galactic Gazette. This is our spoilers and news segment that we do every week. If we got news this week, we got plenty of news. They decided to release prestige cards, which is crazy, right? They're now giving us a special Carbonite booster pack at a cost of $24.99 if you want to buy it for one pack. I think they said a case is 4 boxes. And so a case, I believe, retails at $1,200. So if you want some super fancy shiny cards, this is where it's at. We actually are discussing doing a sealed tournament with only these packs. It's going to be like $150 buy-in.
$150.
Yep. So we're thinking about it. We don't know
any
for sure.
common cards.
We're thinking about it. We'll see how it works. There is some comments. There's possibly some comments.
I thought all the... Now I'll get into it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We got some stuff coming up. So essentially, as you can see, this is kind of what FFG gave us. This is the prestige cards that are kind of coming. So this is kind of the breakdown. You're going to get one hyperspace leader or a showcase leader. Supposedly, there's going to be more showcases available. Then they're going to have 7 foils, 1 prestige card, 5 hyperspace, and 2 hyperspace foil. And I believe you're right, Alex. I do believe the hyperspace foils are anything over common. The hyperspace are anything over... Actually, I don't think there's any common cards in this pack, right?
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Maybe the foils have a chance of being common, but I don't think they do. I think they're all uncommon and up.
So, I don't know. This could be a crazy sealed thing if we do it, but that's kind of what we had talked about. As you can kind of see, the pull rate for showcases is supposedly more. I don't know. I don't know if I trust that, though.
So 1 in 2 boxes was the pull rate for showcases.
Yeah. So if you figure that's $600, right? You know, so fine, I guess. Like, I don't know. The difference is if I have to go to my local and buy something, I buy a prestige pack, I guess now. Every week, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how well.
Week.
Sure, why not? Well, it's cheaper than buying a box of it. I can't afford a box right now. So I might have some hyperspace legendaries I could sell y'all that maybe y'all need some fancy cards and I can fund my addiction to these fancy cards. But as you can kind of see there, they're offering all the different borders. They're going to have different ones. They're going to have the silver-backed ones, right? Which are more common. And then they're going to have these numbered gold ones, which is crazy, right? So they're going to have these also are a limited run, which we talked a little bit about last week. But essentially, they're going to print one run. Whatever people get is what they get. And then these special gold ones are going to be limited to 250 a piece.
Yeah, they're serialized with like the little number out of 250 on it.
Yeah. So crazy, right? That's crazy. Like, you can't tell me you don't want to go buy just a pack once in a while just to see if you get a serialized card.
Yeah. It definitely brings more incentive for people to go out and buy more packs up there. And as long as, you know, they can keep the supply chain going as they did with the last 2 releases, then I think that they'll have plenty available for people to go out there and try and see if they can get a serialized card. It'll be a really great collector's item.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's not much else to like talk. I mean, like, it's kind of cool, some of this stuff, if you're into like this collector's thing. I know, like, so all right. So this is what I did. Is I'm promising, and if people need me to help buy them boxes of this, that if you can use me to get boxes of this stuff if I know in advance. But the thing is every 2, like, if you buy, you have to buy 4 boxes worth, and 2 of them I'll help you get those boxes. But if you get a showcase, 2 showcases, I get 1. If you get only 1 showcase, hey, no problem, you can keep it. That's the deal I'm throwing out there. We might be able to order a bunch of this stuff. I can help you order it, but you got to share your showcases because I can't afford to buy 6 boxes of this.
Oh,
I want to buy 6 boxes just to open them just to see what I get, but that's fine. We probably won't do that. So let's move on. Game Genic, there's going to be a special stream on Monday that's going to go over all of this. So you can see these are the new art sleeves. I am buying JJ those Akbar ones. JJ's getting a pack of
so
those.
bad. They're so stupid and great at the same time.
Yes.
I love it.
You want those too? Okay, I guess I'm buying 2 of those, and I'll buy Alex's. Alex, you each are getting one of those. You can each. That's my control.
My only thing is that, like, and maybe they just didn't put it in the pictures, right? But I want a box of Akbar as well to go along with the sleeves.
I want to
put it feels like it has to have that home.
See, I noticed they didn't put any quotes around iconic designs with that Akbar picture.
I don't know.
It's gorgeous.
I'm
So
not a
stupid.
fan of the Akbar one. If they had a Jar Jar Binks one, I would buy those. So by the way,
No love for
But-
Mr. Bones, man. Mr. Bones
Yeah.
needs a box of sleeves.
yeah, give me a you give me a Mr. Bones box. Oh man. All right. Anyway, so it looks like we're getting FN. That's FN, right? On that picture, JJ, that's FN, right?
I don't know, man. I mean, it could
It
be
has
because
to
it's
be.
not the silver armor for Phasma. So I mean, yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Unless it's Finn, right? Unless it's Finn that they're putting in there, which means we're getting another Finn character, which I don't know. But in Destiny, we had FN, right? That was a thing. Like he was a character that we got to play. It was a big thing. Like he was actually pretty good. So anyway, that's kind of. I'm hoping that's what we get. Obviously, we're getting another Boba, another Han, and it looks like we're getting an Akbar somehow. So I don't know. I don't buy these soft crates ever. As you can see, there's a Phasma crate. Like, so that's kind of cool. Like, that's actually exciting because Destiny. Okay, man, I'm super excited because in Destiny, the way if you ran Phasma as an elite leader, you got 2 of her dice, and then when she rolled, you could roll out like Stormtrooper dice to play along with her. And they sucked. They were horrible Stormtroopers, but you got to roll them and you got extra characters on the board just because of that. So
I just hope that we get a because obviously, for this particular set, they're making them pilots, right? And the only ship that I've known her to pilot is the first one
SF.
TIE fighter. So I'm hoping that we get that as a space unit that she can ride in. Like that would be pretty cool to see.
Well, not
yeah,
every leader is going to be a pilot, they said.
It would be cool,
give me
though.
her. Give me her. Give me her in an SF. Like I'm down for that.
Oh yeah, an SF. Yeah, you're right. An SF. Yep.
Mhm.
You attack,
what-
and you
that's
turn
what
the
she
card
flew.
upside down and attack again.
Yes.
Oh, right. No, yo, that would be great. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to some actual cards that we got. we got actual cards. They're giving us previews already, so that must mean preview season's around the corner. Where I'm guessing we'll start seeing previews here in the next couple of weeks, leading up to the set release. So, wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a bunch of them in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited. There's a specific card I'm super excited about, but I'll let you guys go first. Alex, which card do you want to what do you want to spoil tonight?
I'll go with the very easy choice of Blue Leader. And sticking to their theme they did with the Green Squadron A-Wing, Blue Leader is a green card. Green Hero, it costs 3. It is a 3/3 with Ambush. It does have the Rebel tag as well, which is really nice. And then when played, you may pay 2 resources. If you do, move this unit to a ground arena, or to the ground arena, and give it 2 experience tokens.
And that comes before the ambush, right?
Well, here's the silly thing. You could do whatever you want, because both of them are when played abilities with ambush and the when played ability on the card, right? So you can ambush in this in space, hit for 3, pay 2 extra, go to ground and give it 2 experience tokens. Or you can pay 2 extra, give it to ground, give it 2 experience tokens, and ambush and ground.
So I have another question. So okay, how about this? If I attack in space, if I ambush and I let's say I hit a red 3, right?
Mhm.
Does my blue leader immediately die, or does it move to the ground and let me put experience tokens on it? So now I have 2 health again.
Well, you probably don't want something like red 3 because that only has 2 attack. But I'm assuming you mean like a Black Sun Starfighter, right? The
There you
3/2
go,
Sentinel?
Black Sun. Yep, there you go.
You'd be defeated. I'm
Okay.
90% sure.
Good. Well, that's good though. That's actually really good because otherwise this card would be broken. Like this card would just be insanely broken because if you could ambush and kill something for 3 and then just move it to the ground, like I mean, okay, with Quinlan, I've been playing a lot of Quinlan lately, and that's what I went to the store showdown with and won. But like this would be insane with Quinlan being able to ambush and then move it to the ground after that, and it could just live because you could ping something. You could just take like a 4 unit off the 4 health unit off the board. I don't know. I like it. I like this card a lot though, and I like this is I think this is the prestige card, right? I don't know. This is one of
Yeah,
the fancy cards.
This particular one is a looks
Yeah.
like prestige hyperfoil of it.
Yeah. So this is really cool. Excited about that card. I like that card. I like that card a lot, actually. That's my new favorite. I play too. I'm getting into hero, baby. I'm getting into hero. I've been playing villain too much. I got to get me some hero. All right, JJ, you're next. Which card do you want?
All right, so this one, I'm going to take General Draven. So we last saw him in Rogue One. He was one of the leaders there that helped dispatch X-wings to do attacks on several places there. So he comes in at 5 cost, just a single green aspect, which means you can put this in Empire too if you wanted to. So he comes with 2 attack and 5 health, and he reads Rebel and Official. And when played and on attack, create an X-Wing token. And I would actually argue that he would be a very decent ECL target, because you can essentially generate 2 X-Wing tokens as soon as you deploy them, and you can send them in to attack something that hopefully won't kill him. So you can essentially deploy 3 units right off of the 5 cost there. So that's pretty great, especially even better if you already have the Don on the board, or if you have Wedge Antilles on the board, just further buffing those units. This is something that would help you bring out a lot of units out on the board really quick. It could be a really big swing for your side. So yeah, I like General Draven a lot. I think he's going to definitely see a lot of play with a lot of different decks.
I don't know. I feel this feels overcosted.
I agree. Or like the stats aren't good enough or anything. I mean, maybe
like,
creating X-Wing tokens are super, super good, and we don't know it yet, but it doesn't really have that much of an immediate impact.
Poggle is a 1/4, and you exhaust him when you play a unit and get a droid token, right? And who's the one that gives? And Ayla, is it Ayla? No, it's
Shakti.
Shakti, right? I actually just got a foil of her in the promos this weekend, and she's a 4 cost 3/4, and she creates it's the same thing. It's a 2/2. It's just not in space. Maybe it's because they're valuing space is really heavy right now. Maybe that's why.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I mean, I do agree with you, JJ. Like, I do genuinely agree that, like, yes, ECLing this thing out and being able to put 2, X-Wings in space seems pretty good. Like, that's not a bad thing. But like outside of that, I feel it almost feels overcosted, but I guess we'll see. It must mean they're going to really value that space meta,
It is an official, so you can use it to petition the Senate and draw 3 cards.
All right, fair enough. That'll go good in your pre-Vizsla deck there, baby.
Yeah, it's got Dodanas.
Yeah, I want to see this in a pulp deck. You put them on. You already have the Royal Guards that get that buff when guarding an official, and then you're deploying X-wings for the Emperor to destroy it. It's great,
just like the movie. Pretty sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, the last one the last one in this column that we have is Allegiant General Pride. I'm actually I really like the artwork on this one as well. Yeah. I really kind of want this in a hyperspace foil. This is a 2/3 First Order official. I'm going to state it right now. I hope to God we get something to do with First Order with this, because it makes Kylo Ren super playable, and I have a hyper foil of him, and I really want to put him on the table. The only deck I have him in is no decks, because I just rather play 5 cost small than Kylo. But this official says when indirect damage is dealt to a unit, you may defeat a non-unique upgrade on it. And then he has an on attack if you have the initiative, deal 2 indirect damage to a player. So that's for 2 costs. This is great in my opinion. This is I know people I don't know. We haven't actually had an indirect discussion conversation on the show. To me, indirect damage is going to be amazing. I think I hope to God we only get 7 or 8 cards that deal with this, because it feels like it's just going to be throwing damage everywhere, because basically it goes underneath shields. So, if I could deal 2 indirect damage to your stupid little, I don't know, what's the village peoples. If I could do that, then you no longer have a sentinel on the ground,
Your opponent's the one that chooses where they put the indirect damage, right?
It is. And so if they don't want to lose that unit, then they're going to put it on base, and I'm more excited about that as well. So it's a win-win for Tanner.
it's what should have been like the Y-Wing from last set.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The gray squadron wiring. Yes.
We're just like, yeah, just do 2 damage somewhere instead of like 2 indirect. Maybe 2 indirects are really strong. I don't know. I mean, Ray's also a thing, so maybe that's good.
What I do like is I think this is a perfect card to also pair with Vader ground unit to ambush in. I mean, you can come in, do some damage immediately with the on attack on there. It can really help clear the board there and create a path for you to just mow down your opponents.
Yeah, my personal belief is this is going to work with Major Von Reg. That's my belief, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Von Reg leader, but I'm not we'll put it this way. If somebody wants to take me up on like a $50 or $75 bet, I'll happily take you up on that. Because I'm pretty sure we're getting Von Reg based on how they've done Destiny. But the reason I like this leader and is because I like the indirect mechanic quite a bit. And I feel like when he does his on attack, he gets to do 2 indirect damage. So this is a sentinel. You have to kill this thing. Like if I play this, you gotta kill it. Like there's just no. If you're an aggro deck, you're not gonna like this. And like this does to me, this is gonna be super good in Pelp. Like I don't know. Like I play a lot of Pelp, I guess, or too much Pelp. But like this feels really slated. Like this could really be amazing for Pelp because either I'm doing
you to have the initiative though. For that
indirect
damage. So that's a thing that your opponent can respond to and control.
It is, which is fine. It just means they're not playing 3 units a turn. They're only going to play 1 or 2. So I do like it. I think it's good. Let's move on, though. We have 2 more. Alex, do you want to go over the new leader or do you want to go over the unit?
No, JJ wants the unit. I'll take the leader.
All right. What new leader did we get revealed this week?
So this probably shouldn't be surprising, but we have Wedge Antilles. He is just a green hero, rebel pilot. As an action, you exhaust him. You can play a card from your hand using piloting. It costs 1 less. And then he deploys on a 5. And he is when deployed as a ground. He is a pilot. So when deployed as a ground unit, he's just a 3/6 vanilla, no text. And not good. But when he's in a vehicle, he gives it +3/+4. The +4 is insane to me.
Yeah.
But and then attached leader is a unit, or a leader unit. And then it gains on attack. The next pilot card you play this phase costs 1 less. So like a normal like his leader ability, but that 3/4 stat line is huge for a vehicle, I would assume, right? Like
you could put him on Poe's Black 1, right? Like that feels really good. Mm-hmm. I guess you got to wait a turn to deploy him, so that doesn't feel good, but being able to put him on a Black 1, like oh my gosh.
I mean, just if you're, I don't even know, like you could put like Bright Hope. I think that's hilarious. Now it's like a 5/10 Sentinel.
So I have a quick question. So when you play him, so this is crazy, right? And I don't know if any other podcast is talking about this. So maybe they are, and I just don't listen to anybody else's podcast. Think about it. When we talk about this as piloting, when you deploy them, these leaders that deploy in space, if you've already swung with your vehicle, you don't get to swing with your leader that turn.
Yeah,
correct. It doesn't ready yet.
No.
So that's like that's huge. Like they're adding. This is amazing because they're adding like this extremely new niche layer to the game. Because you got to think about it. Like you can't swing with like a lot of times we'll play like you got 5 resources, I got 5 resources. I'm going to swing first because I think you're going to kill. You're going to waylay my unit. You're going to do all these crazy things, right? This guy, this pilot, you can't put him just on anything. But like you can play a Falcon. You just play a Falcon from hand. It comes in ready. You throw a Wedge on there. It's now a 6/8. like have fun, baby. Like what are you gonna do? Like Falcon stock's gone up. Like I gotta go buy me some more of those cards because like holy crap. Like Falcon's gonna become insane. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. I like the piloting mechanic. We had this in Destiny as well, but it was different than this, but similar. So I don't know. You high on Wedge? I kind of like him. I think it's kind of hot. He's coming out on 5 resources too.
I'm not sure like how good his ability is because again, we don't really know the set and how many piloting cards there are. Like Dooku from set 3, you're just like, oh hey, look, I can get the exploit even higher for a separatist unit. That'd be pretty good. But then like we didn't really have a lot of good reasons to exploit things, so like that didn't do too well. So that might happen with Wedge. But I also just think the 3-4 like stat line is huge. And if you put that on like the just like the heroism Falcon, right? The 3-4 heroism Falcon, then it becomes what, a 7-8 for 3 resources in space because it gets an additional pilot thing. So
I mean, honestly, for me, like if I'm building, and if I'm building a wedged list, I definitely am considering going red, and the only reason for that is the Gorilla Attack Pod, which is Rebel. It assuming that your opponent already has 15 damage on it, which is not too hard. You can immediately play it. It gets readied, and then you can deploy Wedge on it, and then all of a sudden that thing is hitting for
so
7 and
7-10
has
with
10 health on top of it. So it's really good. It's a really good way to get that in there. Hopefully we'll see more and more cards that more vehicles that can deploy ready or find a way for you to deploy ready. I know that there are other.
No, JJ, don't do that. I want counterplay.
So here's the thing, right? Is like you're either going to deploy your leader, right? Like just ready so that we can go ahead and attack that particular turn, because you do get that benefit for you to do that, right? If you're using that particular leader just to get his ability as a pilot, there's a lot more work that goes into it, and that kind of deters people from playing that particular leader, because you get more efficiency out of the other leaders that don't require that extra step for you to wait an additional turn and then use it, right? So if you don't have a vehicle to help mitigate that, then it becomes a lot harder for you to use that particular pilot. Granted, this is what we've seen so far for Wedge, and I'm assuming that there might be some other pilots that come in that kind of help you get around that piece, but it's something that you got to consider when you're selecting a unit, right? Because it's a little bit of that inefficiency, right? You're likely going to deploy your leader on a unit that's probably been played that particular turn, unless of course you're like considering the Falcon or something else like that. But it just becomes a little more difficult in order for you to use that pilot. So that's why I think I'm not saying we're going to get like 12 new ships that are all going to come in ready and stuff. No, but
how about 0? Give me 0. Like give me one villain that's like a Falcon and call it a day, and then we'll move on. Because no, JJ, no. Do you want? Like, can you you do know how painful this is going to be? You are literally going to have to tech for this in Falcon. So you're going to play this with yellow, right? You're going to have to tech for that, and then you're going to have to tech for it to the point, because if they have that Falcon just sitting there, if you don't do something to that Falcon, they're just bringing this in and it gets extra health. Like it takes it out of takedown range. Basically you can like, and we don't even know how. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I was thinking Vanquish. You're right. Go on.
Yeah, like we have Vanquish and Rivals Fall, but I don't know if Vanquish is even going to work because it's a leader.
Right. So like Waylay and Vanquish don't work because they're leaders.
Yeah, or Spare the Target, or I don't know what's the. There's a couple other ones.
Yeah, anything.
I mean,
like,
we already have a potential monster mix with Lurking TIE Phantom already, right? Because
Boba Space, baby. It's already there. People started building it. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Also, things like keep fighting might be interesting, right? If your vehicle's that 3 attack, like the generic hero Falcon, like keep fighting is an interesting option. Bravado just works on any unit, and if you killed something, it only costs 3, so you just restand it. or like if you play to that turn, attach a leader to you, then stand it with that. So there's already like options to try to the circumnavigate them playing an exhausted unit or something like that. Yeah, also just having a normal unit out there just seems really good.
Yeah. I think we'll see how this works. I know there will be more space units. This is going to be a thing. But this adds this is what we were waiting for when we talked about space. Like when we talk about like what can happen, this is what we were waiting for, because this, in my opinion, has a big impact on the game. But I don't want to spend any more time. We have one more spoiler, and then we have other segments to get.
Play him on on the home one. Hold off until turn 7. Make it a 10-11.
You swing and win, baby. Except for then when you're going to be very sad when I Avenger. Oh, but Avenger won't work anymore, right?
Yeah, Avenger
is a leader unit. Oh, man. Oh.
Devastator.
Yeah, it's got to be Devastator or Power of the Dark Side or that man. We got to go. We're going to go through. We'll have a segment. We'll go through when we get closer to the set release. We'll go through that. What cards no longer affect these leaders? Anyway, JJ, you got one more. We got one more, and I'm actually kind of excited by it. I want you to make sure you read his subtext as well, please.
All right, cool. So this one here is going to be Anakin Skywalker here. So he comes in at 2 costs. His subtext is "I'll try spinning," which is hilarious. So he comes in with a yellow aspect and hero aspect. He's a 2/3, just regular unit, and when you deploy him as a pilot, he's also a 2/3. And he has the piloting upgrade there, and then his cost for piloting is also still 2 resources, so it's the same as a regular. And then his ability reads: when attached unit completes an attack and survives, that's a very important key, you may return this upgrade to its owner's hand. So you can essentially have Annie board a ship, deal a bunch of damage, and then just come right back into your hand in there. So that's a really, really neat trick for Annie to do. However, despite the theme on this, I'm very sad that his ability doesn't allow him to go to a ground unit or, to the ground arena, deal damage, and then come back, right? Because that's him physically barrel rolling from space into the ground or vice versa. That would have been a really neat trick, honestly, but still really great, especially if you could put him on Lurky TIE Phantom and just have him deal a bunch of damage and just come right back, and then you can't deal damage to the Lurky TIE Phantom with any other card effects. So yeah.
You could do that in a Chancellor Palpatine deck, JJ.
Yeah, it's like, unless you're going to pay 4 for him. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's probably worth it. Like that Lurking TIE Phantom, you pay 4 for this, right? You play Lurking TIE Phantom, you have this, you play it for 4, you swing, you can't defeat it. I don't know. That might be worth 4 points.
Yeah.
This card
that's
seems
a 6/5.
Insane, right? Like,
yeah.
This card is nuts. And it's only uncommon.
Yeah, because you just detach it. It's like, as long as your unit lives, it's free. Like, I don't know.
It's a 2/3 for 2, which is already average, right? It gives a vehicle +2/+3, which I think is pretty big for 2 resources. And you guys, that he's got a force trait.
For 2.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Quinlan's going to love this.
That's insane, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, shit.
He's not like a Jedi or whatever for your General's Blade, but he's a force enabler.
Yeah, you can force throw with him. He's a 2 cost. Oh, so dirty. Oh, Alex, we're going to cut this part of the show. Don't tell anybody this, Alex. Let them figure it out.
And it's uncommon. Like, that just seems like a crazy, crazy card. And my only complaint is that it didn't interact with any trick cards. Because I heard that spinning is a pretty good trick, so that would have been funny.
Yeah. I do agree with you. So far, this is the best card we've seen for this set, I think, hands down. I will be very happy to play this in, I don't know. Like, right now, I'm telling you, in Quinlan, this works. Boba, this works really well. Like, Boba, man, Hero Boba is, going to be buffed this set.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Keywords.
Yeah, and I've already got a Boba Yellow or Boba Green. No, Boba Yellow space only deck. So it already can happen. Like now, can you just imagine now that all of the cards get it? Like, ugh. I should go buy that. What's that show? What's that showcase worth? Hold on,
like
we should go.
$100.
All right,
It's like
hold on.
super cheap.
Is it? If it's only $100, I'm buying it right now.
That's what I paid
Hold
for
your
it,
hose.
$100. So
Seriously?
yeah, it was like just really cheap because like no one's playing boba because literally no one's playing boba but like me and like 4 locals.
It's 120,
like
right?
Sandeep and I.
I don't know if I can afford 120. It's still, you are right though. It is still under market price though. So
120. That's just a third of my unemployment, Jack.
all right. Well, you should buy me one then, Alex. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you're buying me a boba
I will
showcase.
100% sell you one for like $180.
Well, I could buy it for 120, so probably not gonna happen.
But yeah,
Free
I think that
shipping.
Anakin card it's crazy.
Nuts.
Like, I mean, sure, a vanilla 2/3 for 2 isn't like the best, but it's not bad, right? Like a 3/6 liter that doesn't do anything for 5 isn't good.
Yeah.
But a 2/3 unit is no ability. It's your first turn play. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But also, doesn't I forgot there was one card, wasn't there, in this set that's just like, hey, if you have a force as an upgrade or like a unit, right, they get something. And I think that was the Padawan's like Aether Sprite. What was that actually called? Padawan Starfighter. Yeah, if you control a force unit or a force upgrade, it gets +1/+1. So you can attach Anakin to the Padawan Starfighter. It's a force upgrade, right? So it gets the +1/+1, bumps it up to 2/4, and then Anakin bumps it up to a 6/7, and that's 4 resources.
Ooh, Luke Yellow, but Luke Yellow coming back, baby. Look at that. We're gonna get some Luke Yellow, man.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then, like, if things get really dicey, you just pop them back up into the hand because it completes an attack, right? Which you could just hit base for. Like, it's like Ezra, right? Has the same language where, like, if the attached unit completes an attack, you look at the top card kind of thing. It's just the same thing. Like, you get hit a base and pop them back under your hand if the ship's on fire, whatever.
So, as a question, because I haven't fully read the interactions yet, but do cards like Power Failure take out pilots?
Yes, they're upgrades.
Oh man,
but
I think the stocks went up on Power Failure. Oh man,
you know what the sillier thing with Anakin is? You have like 3 vehicles that are, you know, ready. You pop Anakin on one of them, swing with one of them, pop Anakin back in your hat, in your hand, put him down again on a different vehicle and pop him up.
All right, what ones are ready? You have the Falcon, right? What else?
Yeah, no. Like if you
you set yourself up with 3 units. Yeah,
like 4 turns in the game or whatever.
Oh, I see.
So if you have multiple vehicles and like, are willing to spend 2 resources to buff your unit by 2/3 for each attack.
It's like a surprise strike. Is what it's like. It's like a reoccurring surprise strike.
Yeah,
that's so good
for a 2 costing unit. So like that just seems like insane to me.
All right, why don't we go ahead and let's move on to our Chaos of War segment. I'm excited. We got some PQ stuff we got to talk about, and we're going to wrap it up for the night a little bit early tonight versus making this a super long episode. We promise we're going to make our episodes a little bit shorter for you. But we have our Chaos of War coming up right now. All right, welcome to our Chaos of War segment. I did play the video, Alex, just so you know. We are going to be talking about set 3, week 2 PQ. I don't know, is this season 0? Is that what they're calling it? Whatever this season is, I don't know what it is, but it is definitely week 2. It is our January 12th and 13th. It's PQ weekend. For now, we're not covering Store Champs unless there's some crazy list that comes out of Store Champs that wins a bunch of stuff. I'm only going to be covering PQ information, and I apologize. It's just there's too many. You have the ability to have too many games. We could have like a 5-hour podcast if we covered Store Champs, and I just don't know if that doesn't seem like a ton of fun. But this week we have a couple of cool things that we haven't seen before, and then we have a million Hans. So you're going to see a million Han, and then you're going to see a bunch of cool stuff. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and run over a few of the top decks, and then we're kind of going to get into some of the statistics for what's going on. So the first PQ out of France, an Anakin ECL takes it down. Yes, I've actually seen people online playing this deck a lot more. So I don't know if people think this thing is going to be the most amazing thing in the world, but hey, we got an Anakin ECL, which we have not seen take shape before. We also have Han 1 Yellow came in second. No surprise there. Next, we have an Anakin Blue taking down a France tournament over a Kylo Tarkentown, which is exciting. My nephew is going to be super excited when he sees this episode because he's going to be like, oh, can I rebuild my Kylo? And who's going to sell me a Kylo showcase? Cheap, because he wants a Kylo showcase. They're not cheap right now, but that's kind of cool. I like seeing the Kylo Tarkentown because that's crazy. That's like, you better win by turn 4. That's what that deck should be called. We win by turn 4 because I just can't imagine how much health you can have after that. Spain was won by a Han Yellow. No surprise there. We also have a CAD Tarkentown coming in runner-up. The Germany one was won by a Mace Blue. So, JJ, you're not allowed to copy this deck. I think that's what we did before we did the segment. That's kind of just a throwback to our Rondell transition segment where we're going to be playing new decks. JJ got a random deck of base blue, and look, it took down a PQ. And this is like almost a 70% PQ. It beat Yellow Han, right? Like that's crazy to me. That might mean Hero Blue, Red Blue might actually be able to beat Yellow Han. I don't know. That's exciting. I like seeing that. The next one is a Polish one. They had a Django Tarkentown took down a Sabine ACL. A UK number 1. I have no idea where in the UK how far these places are apart. They all got their own PQ somehow. Han Blue took this down. Like Han 1 Blue took it down, not Han 2, Han 1 Blue. And then a Quinlan Tarkentown. The second UK one was Sabine ECL versus Quinlan Tarkentown. Now we're moving on to Denmark. A Boss Green took down an Anakin Blue. Boss Green, I told you that deck was coming back up to the top last week, and here we see it again.
Copenhagen having a fun meta.
Yeah, like that's where I want to go play. Somebody send me over there.
Right, it's like the X-Wing Alaskan meta.
Yeah. Now we have Phoenix, Arizona back in the US. Anakin Blue took that down. We're going to review that deck tonight. There's a couple of tweaks in there from last week, and I wanted to talk through that with Alex a little bit. Took down a Han 1 Green. Then Rochester, New York had 2 Han Yellows, so I mean, it is what it is. There's actually one PQ, I think it says PQ, that all of the top 8 were Han Yellow except for one. There's one deck that was different. So that will not be a feature this week. We are not going to cover that this week, but we will talk about that going forward because that's crazy. The next one is Florida. Unfortunately, our buddy Crispy did not make top 8, but a Han Yellow took it down. George took that down. Love George. Good friend, or not friend, but good guy that I talked to a lot on Discord. Helped me with some Hondo stuff. Real good guy. Took down a Sabine ECL. So there we go. We see Han Yellow again. And then the last one that we're going to report on tonight is Louisville, Kentucky. A Sabine ECL took down a Quinlan Tarkentown. So before we get into the numbers, what are your guys' initial thoughts?
Oh, it seems like a relatively healthy meta, except for, New York.
Yeah. Except for New York that had nothing but Han.
Way to go, Rochester. Yeah, I looked it up. New York, Rochester, their tournament. The top 4 was Yellow Han. The one of another top 8 was a Yellow Han, so that's 5 top 8s. One of them was a green Han, and the other one was a Django Darkentown and a Quinlan Darkentown. Way to go, guys! You did it.
Yeah, it's really nice to see across the board, like seeing set 1, 2, and 3 leaders like making the top cuts here. It's just really good to see that the meta is still heading in a pretty good direction with this new set here. Just glad to see all the different types of lists, the way that they designed them. Just going through them, it's really interesting to see how different people just combine different styles of decks, even for the same leader. Just means that there's a lot of great cards out there that help you design these decks in such a way that you have that flexibility to change it up and still be competitive. So it's really great to see that.
All right, let's get into the overall analysis. So this is a combination of week 1 and 2 plus the little bit we had in December. It looks like Sabine is still holding on to that top spot of wins with 6 overall wins, followed very closely with Han Yellow. So I don't know whether that's scary or not scary.
I mean, people have been
but
playing, ECL Sabine since that one, right? So it is something they're incredibly familiar with. So that would make sense.
I think the Han Yellow rise, though, that's a hard deck to play.
Yeah. I agree.
But that deck is on the rise. And then as you can see, everything else just kind of falls off to 1 win, 1 win. Let's look at some top 8s. Han Yellow, though, is exceeding Sabine now officially with almost 20% of the top 8s. And maybe it's just that Rochester that's throwing us off. Screw you, Rochester. But if you take the Han Green plus the Han Yellow, that's 42 top 8s. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? That's a lot. So that means, when we talk about this, so the reason we have these conversations, right, is because the idea is that now you kind of know what people are going to bring. People see this is going to be emulated. People are going to emulate this Han Yellow. I got a local that has played Sabine Green since the beginning of set 1, already talking about flipping to Han Yellow. Tried to flip earlier, didn't have success. Now's already back on that bandwagon, bought a showcase, wants to play Han Yellow. And it's like, man, hold on a second. I think Han Yellow is a lot harder to navigate, and I'll actually be a little bit more excited if people don't learn how to navigate Han Yellow, because it'll be easier wins. If you don't know what you're doing, Han Yellow wins every time. But I will say it's a little scary between those two. Those two take up, a good 35% or more of the meta. That's a lot, right? That's quite a bit of the meta is just Han and Sabine. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, that one PQ definitely did skew the results quite a bit, but still, I mean, it's definitely not an easy deck to master. But I mean, with more cards that come out and stuff, and the meta change coming with the new set here, I'm sure we'll see the shift over again. It's nice to see that Han making that resurgence. After Han was kind of that middle to top tier, and now making it to top tier now, vacating the power gap that Boba left behind. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to see Han making his comeback for the time being now. It will be interesting to see if he gets dethroned with the next set coming out with the advent of pilots and stuff. But yeah, I think it's still a very fun deck.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's strong, obviously. I'm sure someone will figure out stuff to do it. I mean, it just does well generally against what the decks people are bringing right now, because it messes with what they're playing, right? So I could see it. I get it. I don't know.
So, all right, let's move on to a few more statistics.
Sorry, my phone went off.
Really?
My bad.
It's not on mute.
Strong comedic timing there, JJ.
Sorry, my bad.
All right, let's move on to the most represented leaders. Han, obviously, we just talked about it. Han, Sabine, Quinlan, Django, then Cad and Bosk, and then Pelp. I love seeing that Pelp in there. Pelp in that
Yeah.
6th place. Ugh, yeah, love that. So it's a little interesting to kind of see some of those lists. If you look at leader cost, the most tops that we have is a at the 6 cost resource, and then it severely drops off. Like, so between that 5 and 6 is kind of that sweet spot. Obviously the 4 cost is also beans. That's what it seems like. So, and then you could kind of see, for the most part, set 1 leaders. Look at that. Like, set 1 leaders are OP, baby. Like, holy crap, is that like going crazy there. I don't know 100% if I like think that's like, it's just the Hans and the Sabines. Is that why?
Hans
But
and
like,
Sabine, right?
Yeah.
Like the 2 biggest
Yeah.
leaders. And Palpatine. Don't
I
forget
mean,
Palpatine.
if we looked at the numbers earlier, right, they make up like probably 70 to 80% of those numbers, right?
so 4750, baby. But yeah, so it's interesting to see set 1 was designed very strong. So why don't we get into a little bit of the list? So I threw the Han Yellow list in here because this like is now different. Really the main difference is they're now adding jetpacks in here. That's really the big difference, and Zoris. Outside of that, I think a lot of these have kind of been the similar common ones. I will say, like, this is the guy that I think he lost like 2 games, not 2 rounds, 2 games the whole tournament. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this as a kind of as a staple coming out. I will say the Plos in the sideboard is a little unique. I'm not used to seeing that, but I guess the ambush makes sense if you have units on the board. That tech DJ combo that we talked about is just so strong. Just so good.
It was really nice. Putting a jetpack on DJ, so now he has a shield, so you probably can't kill him immediately when you steal their resource, and you can dump it with Han.
That's so good. Oh man.
And it gives him 2 extra attacks, so he's a 5/5.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Actually, I didn't even think a DJ is a target for the jetpack, but man, that really that's a frustrating move right there for your opponent as soon as you do that. Oh man.
Yeah, it seemed interesting to me. I can see why they like. I like jetpack. Like I played a yellow Kylo, right, and that was just like, oh, this is actually just really nice because I need that shield and I need the like the 2 extra attacks is really good. So it's kind of cool to see jetpack in a deck.
Be the thing.
Yeah.
I played a
Zori,
lot
I
of
guess
it.
can make sense too because you're just drawing extra cards.
Yep. And you got to think most of the time you don't have cards in your hand with Zori, right? Like, you don't.
Right, like you can just resource it if you really like. You're going to discard it anyways. You might as well resource it and have an extra resource.
Yeah.
So the next deck I wanted to go over was a Boba Blue. Thank God JJ didn't get Boba Blue for our thing. And Alex, will you go over this deck? Because this deck is a little bit different than yours is. So I thought it would be kind of fun. We haven't talked about Boba Blue in a while, so I kind of want to go through that. So
this one is just a blue Boba. Just a standard 30 health base there. I don't know why you would run anything else. But it's got triple arc, triple battlefield marine, triple queel, 1 echo, which I think is a little bit strange. Double Ryloth militia, like just turn that echo into the 3rd militia because those things are an incredible first turn play. Triple Yoda, triple echo base, triple Concord Dawn, triple village protectors, triple Centauri, 1 tech, triple takedown, triple Bright Hope, double Nema outpost constables, the 2/6 sentinel guys, triple modded cohort, double Kiadimundi, triple Luke, triple U-wing, triple home 1 in the sideboard. You got the triple regional governor, 2 more techs, double perilous position, double Razor Crest, and a Fell the Dragon. This is very much inspired by like the traditional blue-green Boba block party style where you just play a bunch of sentinels and they can't win. It does kind of have a little bit of a damage output, So I was toying around with the blue bow by actually adding in the Kiadi Mundis. And I was looking at actually the Nima Outpost Constables. You know, I think it's very good. It is very good. It's weird not seeing any redemptions, either main or side. You think they'd be a little bit more useful, just like, well, something catastrophic happened. I'm going to save 8 health off my base, or what I do is a giant Space Sentinel that's just really hard for your opponent to out because it's a 6/9. But yeah, I mean, it's good. The Battlefield Marines are just, well, that's the only thing in my deck that doesn't have a keyword, but they're still very, very strong first turn plays. And again, those Rylop Militias, those are excellent cards. Honestly, first turn play, so 2/3 probably doesn't die on the first turn. Next turn, play something with a keyword. Now it just swings in for 4, which is very strong.
Yeah. That's why I kind of think Boba will be on the rise. Like, I guess we're not KTOD and can't influence the market, right? But like, I would say, like, with some of this upcoming piloting stuff, like, this leader is really positioned, in my opinion, to be pretty good. Like, I don't know which color is going to be the best, right? We talked a little bit about Anakin, but this is a pretty good deck just in and of itself, and I think that, like, coming out, like, Keon Moody just, like, is really good in and of itself because he's got coordinate. You don't even have to worry about the coordinate. You get the extra damage somehow. So I don't know. I like this deck a lot.
You probably have coordinate because you run a lot of small units, but also all of them have Sentinel, or half your deck is Sentinel, so you generally have units living because they're going into the Sentinels, especially if they're like village protectors, where they're just like, well, cool, strike it twice in order to kill it.
Yeah, and Bright Hope's got to be one of the best cards to, like, just for the ability to get off that coordinate.
And also with Boba Fett's ability to pump it up to 3, it takes out things like red 3s, right? Or A-Wings, Arcs, any of the cheaper low-cost units, just pumping up to 3 damage. They don't trade favorably into it.
Yeah.
Or the Concord Dawn Interceptors. You pump them up, they swing back for 4, so that takes out, like, Falcons. No one's swinging a Falcon into them, but, like, it takes out Falcons, punishing ones, any like the other kind of nuisance ones that have like 4 health.
Yeah, I like this deck. I do agree redemptions need to be in the sideboard, but
and the one-off Echo is just so weird to me. Like, I get it, but I don't at the same time.
It's just a JJ thing.
I'm telling you, man, my philosophy is coming back, bro.
All right, well, you win a PQ, baby, with that, and we'll talk.
I'm certainly going to try, man.
My only thought is that they got one of those giant promo Echo cards that they gave out to stores, and they're just like, yeah, well, I have to run, and I'm bringing this with me. It's my play mat. I'm playing on the Echo card. I'm going to run one in my deck.
Yeah, imagine trying to shuffle with it.
All right. Up next is an Annie Blue deck. This is the one that won the Arizona one, and for the most part, like, this is a very JJ-ish deck too, as well. Like it has 1 Fell the Dragon, 1 Open Fire, 1 top target. Like, what? Like
1 crate, 1 redemption, 1 bravado, 1 takedown, and then 8 cards in your sideboard are one-offs.
Yeah, like so. I don't understand the 1-off crate dragon. I think that should just be a redemption or 2 crate dragons. Like, I don't care which you want. To me, Anakin does not need crate dragons. Usually, you could put a second bravado in there. Oh, 1 takedown as well too. Like 1 takedown and 1 fell. Like, what? Like, who does this? This is JJ to a T. I mean, I didn't win a PQ though, so.
They have a second takedown inside, a second fell inside, a second crate inside, a second redemption, a third pillage, but also like a one-off Rivals Fall just in case, and then like a one-off tech. But tech is one of the few cards, and like, I get it. You're doing a one-off. That's fine.
Yeah. And the tech I agree with, because I actually sometimes run tech just in every deck just because I can. But other than that, this is a pretty standard Anakin Blue deck. We are going to be, we won't be doing it for this episode, but we are going to be doing like an analysis on an Annie Blue. We're going to talk a little bit about this. I like this deck. I think this deck is very good. Again, you have your Light Sentinels, you have your healing, You have your ability to take things out. You have your K2SOs. Other than some of the weird one-off things, I think this deck makes a lot of sense. I almost would drop one Obi-Wan, I think, for a consistency card somewhere. Like,
I'd probably
I don't
drop one Obi off for like maybe a second open fire. Probably actually a second Fell the Dragon, honestly. Even though like Anakin
yeah.
usually can deal with those kinds of threats because he gets the extra 2 attack.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. That Fellow Dragon just is so good, especially in the late game. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. This one, we're going to talk about this. This is a Mace Blue. We've not seen Mace Blue before. So JJ, what is this? Why don't you read this deck to us? Let's talk about this deck.
Yeah, so this Mace Blue deck here, we got it's a deck after my own heart, honestly. We got 2 copies of Force Throw. We got 3 copies of Top Target, 3 Daring Raids, 2 Restored Arc Insemities, 2 Regional Governors, 3 Quills, 1 copy of Mace Windu's Lightsaber, 1 Grenade Strike, 3 copies of Yoda, 1 copy of Tech, 3 Perilous Precisions, 3 Open Fires, 2 copies of Takedown, 2 K2SOs, 2 Razor Crests, 1 Fell the Dragon, 2 Pillages, 2 copies of Saw Sister, 3 copies of Bombing Run, 1 Vanquish, 2 Obi-Wan Kenobis, 1 Rivals Falls, 3 copies of Luke Skywalker, 2 Redemptions, and 2 Crate Dragons. And then on the sideboard, we have an additional Grenade Strike Tech, Fell the Dragon, 1 additional Vanquish, 2 Cargo Juggernauts, 1 additional Rivals Fall, home 1, a Crate
Out
Dragon.
of aspect, 10 cost home 1.
Yeah. And a Zillow Beast added
yeah.
onto this as well, which is actually a really nice add-on for this particular deck. I like it a lot. Offers a little flexibility at the expense of consistency, particularly the Mace Windu Lightsaber. I mean, I guess you hold it into your hand until you deploy Mace, and then we can equip it onto him. I mean, you only really need 1, especially if you're not running the Mace Windu like ground units, in your particular deck. So you just need 1. But yeah, definitely really interesting way to get out a lot of different damages there, just to really trigger Mace Windu's ability out there to get a lot of like different damage out there. You have a lot of great strong cards at the end to help finish off the game between Obi-Wan and Luke and the Crate Dragon in there. And then if you feel like you're falling behind, you still have those additional big cards in home 1 and the Zillow Beast in your sideboard. They can add on into your deck and hopefully get them out there. So pretty decent card. It's pretty flexible, but again, the consistency just falls down just because you have those one-offs.
Okay, hold on. This is the Rondell deck, right? That's what this is. This is crazy. Like, so to answer your question about the Mace's lightsaber is that goes on anybody. It's inconsequential who you put that on Yoda, and Yoda's now a 4/6. Mace's lightsaber, I don't care. People are sleeping on that. Like, if you're running red, that could go in Anakin's deck very well. Here it makes sense, because of the leader, but like, I don't understand how to play this deck. Like, just so everybody knows, like, I guess Stella makes sense, right? Because you could like pull your weird off cards and then you get to pick what you want. Like, it's like, here, it's a Russian roulette deck. There you go. That's the new name of this. This is Russian roulette. You're like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm just going to play whatever I get. And I can't make decisions. So there's going to be 0 consequences to whatever I'm doing. The only card that makes like 100% sense in this deck is the Razor Crest, right? The Razor Crest should have a 3 of that in this deck. Like, that should just be a 3 of, because there's so many upgrades that you can just pull back. I'm
actually surprised that they only have 2 like Stellas, because like a Daring Raid, Open Fire, Grenade Strike, Pillage, Fell the Dragon, Takedown, Bombing Run, Vanquish, and Rivals Fall are all tactics.
Yes,
it's nuts.
You just pull them, like, and you don't have you get the one that you want for the situation you want. I guess.
Yes. 2 damage to your base, draw your out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play this deck. I don't know it. I wouldn't even put regional governors in this deck. Like, this is a soft control hero deck, right? Like that's what this is supposed to be.
I think the regional governors are in there actually because they have 4 health, and you could do 1 damage, and then use Mace's ability, right? And they'll live through most things. But also, like,
Oh,
regional
okay.
governors is good in general. Like once the meta fight, the meta starts going, so you could be like, yeah, you're not going to play your Forlom or your General's Blade or whatever. Your P38s if you're going against Django. So I still think it's a solid thing, but also it's just a high health unit that you can do damage to. But also, like, first turn Daring Raid and then Mace Windu kills a lot of things.
Yes. Yep. It's like its own Target Town. That's what it is. Here, let me Target Town you.
Yeah.
That's great.
But also, you could drop 3 Crate Dragons and a Zillow Beast on someone.
Oh my gosh.
Never going to happen, but it'd be funny.
All right, let's move on. We have another top deck, an Anakin ECL, which we have not seen before that often. That's not something that we've seen. This deck makes a lot more sense to me than the other one does. I never thought about this with that 1-drop R2D2. It's just so stupid because you just do 2 damage to your base and you like kill anything that could do anything that could swing for 3, you just kill it. You kill the stupid thing. Like I played against this with my Quinlan deck, and like they use R2D2, swung into the stupid Battlefield Marine, kills the Battlefield Marine, and then it's like, well, I drop a unit, kill R2D2, and then turn around and he puts another R2D2 on the table, and then another turn later does the same thing again. And it's like, oh my gosh, screw you, R2D2. I like this deck, actually. This is closer to what an Anakin deck I would run. I don't know if I like the ECL as much, especially only with 2 Aylas. That seems insanely crazy to me. But this deck is good because you have Aylas and you have your Wreckers, and all of those can come out on your flip turn. And that's big. There's no ramp in this deck at all. This is a no ramp frills deck. That's doing damage to your base. And Anakin, thank God Anakin doesn't benefit from having a lower health base either. Like, could you imagine? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
But essentially, this is 3 R2D2, 2 Daring Raids, 3 Battlefields, 3 Green Squadrons, 3 Sabines, 2 Anakins, Interceptors, 3 of the Sundari Peacekeepers, 3 Cassians, 3 Ularans, 3 General's Blades, 2 Open Fires, 2 Bright Hopes, 3 K2SOs, 2 Marauders, 3 Poes, which is, again, really good ECL targets, 2 Bravados, obviously, to be able to buff your Anakin or your Poe up again, 2 Aylas, 1 Guerrilla Attack Pod, 3 Wreckers, 1 Home 1, and 1 Crate Dragon, which I'm just assuming is there because, like, in case you go the time, but you don't need those cards ever. I don't know. I can't imagine you ever need a Home 1 or a Crate Dragon in this deck.
Yeah.
The sideboard is 3 Cobb Vances, 2 of the what's that guy's name?
Hu Yang.
What's this? Hu Yangs. 2 Maces, 2
Reinforcement Walkers.
Reinforcement Walkers, and 1 more Crate Dragon. So their sideboard is mainly teched against mainly tech for control and a little bit of aggro. So I like this deck though. This deck looks fun to me.
I've played ECL Anakin a little bit, and I had a lot of fun. And also, ECLing out Guerrilla Attack Pod is always good.
Oh yeah.
And it's easy to hit 15 damage on your own base if you're doing 2 damage to it yourself. So you have a higher chance of that coming out. Because you can ECL that out and then flip Anakin.
Yeah, so you got to think
what hit for 4 and then do 2 damage to your base again, swing in for 6 plus whatever grit you got, and then flip Anakin. Easy.
Yeah, see, you got to think that's 8 damage plus Anakin's. So you can almost do 15 damage at minimum that turn. That would be like the least amount of damage you could do that turn.
That's crazy good.
Well, the ambush, you have to hit a unit, right? So, like...
Oh, you're right. Yep.
but it grits you up. So
Yeah. Crazy. The next one is a Quinlan Blue. We've not seen Quinlan Blue, but Quinlan's got a green and Quinlan's got a red. Now Quinlan's got blue. Alex, what is this deck? Because I have never seen this deck before, and I'm interested to know how this plays.
it's actually like super similar to an Obi deck I was working on. But yes, Quinlan Blue. You got triple Arc, triple the Lothal Insurgent. So that's 3/2 that discards a card from your opponent if you played a card before that. Just double Sparker Rebellion, triple L3, triple Cloud Rider, double Surprise Strike, triple Yoda, triple Jedi Lightsaber, triple Ezra, triple the 3-cost Falcon, double Concord Dawn Interceptors, triple Perilous Position, double Waylay, triple Kanan, double The Force is with me, double Takedown, double Syndicate Lackeys, triple Plo Koon, just in case you don't have enough, triple Luke, triple Han. In the side, you have a third copy of your Spark Rebellion, a third copy of Concord Dawn Interceptors, double Baze Malbus. Sure. Double Fell the Dragon, double of the sharpshooter, the heroic sharpshooter, the 4/3 ambush guy for 4, and then double Obi-Wans. And this is, I ambush all the units into you, probably ping some other stuff to take the advantage of them, kind of like what you do in a Boba deck, and then just swing in with all my low-cost Force units.
Yeah.
And also have an endgame of triple Luke, triple Han.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you have the Plos, the Lukes, the Hans, like, I don't know. This feels like a decent deck. This reminds me a little bit of a Luke deck that, you know, people used to run that Luke yellow and it would shield things all the time. This reminds me of a little bit more aggressive version of that. So, a little weird. There's only 3 Jedi lightsabers. I kind of wonder if like Luke's lightsaber has a place in this too.
Maybe. I tend not to run Luke's lightsabers unless I'm also running Luke leader.
Yeah.
You're running Luke. I mean, you got 3 Lukes.
Sure. I mean, like the 3/1 is nice, but also most of these units are like ambushing in, right? So you, like,
Yeah,
they're not going to last long. They're not like super high health. They're mostly just clear the board and then start swinging.
All right.
I'm surprised there's no hot shot blasters.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that too, because you could just pull them out of your graveyard or out of your resource row. So, and we run that in like every other Quinlan deck. So I don't know. All right, let's move on to the last one that we have. We have a Kylo Tarkin Town. Very interesting deck. I like this deck as well. It's got my favorite character in it, right, JJ? What is this deck? Tell us what's in this deck, because I want to talk about this deck a little bit, and then we're going to wrap up for the night.
So definitely a really aggressive deck. I like it a lot. So we got 3 Death Star Troopers, 3 copies of Benthic 2 Tubes, 3 Cantina Braggarts, 3 TIE Fighters, 3 Guavian Antagonizers, 3 Reckless Gunslingers, 3 copies of Mr. Bones, which is fantastic. I love that card. We got 3 Daring Raids, 3 Force Chokes, 3 Partisan Insurgents, 3 Kylo Ren TIE Silencers, 3 copies of Bo-Katan, 2 Armed to the Teeth, 3 copies of the 00M series droid, 3 Fallen Lightsabers, 3 copies of the Chaos of War, and 3 copies of Aggression. And then in the sideboard, we got 3 Ruthless Raiders, 1 Saw Gerrera, 3 Disabling Fang Fighters, 2 copies of Wolf, and 1 Infiltrator Skill to round off the list there. I really feel like the one thing I would have added to this list was the Staff Rider droid, the 5/2/1. I think that's something that's worthy to be put into this particular deck. But you do have a lot of play with the different raids stuff, especially with 2 tubes in here. But still, really aggressive deck that just wants to go in and deal damage as much as possible. So yeah, pretty decent.
I think you're just saying that because that's the card we revealed.
Exactly, man. That's our card, bro. Heck yeah.
I have a hyperfoil of that card, by the way.
Nice.
Me too. JJ, we need to get you one of those.
I know, man. I know.
All right, hold on. I'm buying you one right now. Just kidding.
I'm sure it'll
Keep
cost you
moving.
50 cents.
Yeah.
But also, because it's slightly ambiguous, this is the double red Bo-Katan unit, and not the red villain
Yeah, that's right.
Bo-Katan unit that was released in set 3, which would also totally fit in this deck. But they don't have a lot of troopers, so you don't get a lot of the synergy out there. And the other double red Bo-Katan is just strictly better.
So
Yeah,
I have a
this is-
question.
Go on.
Well, why don't they have that Vanguard droid bomber? Like, is it just because they don't have a lot of droids in this deck? Is that why?
It's a separatist unit that you need
Yeah.
for the extra damage, and I don't think they
Fair.
they
Yeah.
have any separatist units other than the OM droid. So
Yeah.
I see. If you switched it a little bit, then you could.
I am actually a little surprised they don't have something like Dooku in the side. Because like actually just sacking off a stormtrooper, like a stormtrooper like Mr. Bones, and dropping a Dooku is very good when you could dole out 6 damage.
True, but how many times do you see a Kylo deck really getting to that late stage of the game, right? Like
4
they want it-
resources because it's exploit 2.
Yeah.
And I said
Right,
side. I didn't say main
but
deck. Just side.
I don't know if Kylo can really afford to get rid of two units that quickly, or
Yeah.
that would survive. Like
Just swing with them first. I don't know. Just spitballing. It's probably better than like the single copy of Infiltrator skill in Saw Gerrera.
yeah, I agree there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
I
for me,
like
the-
it. I actually agree with you. I would probably run that.
Yeah, the Ruthless Raider probably needs to be main decked as well, I think, because it's just a solid finisher.
But you're not like going over. You're not going up to 6, right? Like that's
If
kind
you
of
do
the
get
thing.
6, though, I mean that could be your last 2 damage that you need to put in. So I mean it's
Go
just
up to
solid.
6. You should have already won by that, or something catastrophic happened.
34 cents, just so you know. That's how much it
See?
costs to get that
For
Nice.
hyperfoil.
for a hyperfoil.
Yup. I love it.
All right. Well, I think that's enough for our Chaos of War meta analysis. I don't know. Like, I am excited. I do think that there is quite a bit of a meta out there. I don't feel quite as bad about it. I will say that with Han 1 Yellow being the new boogeyman, I think that's a conversation we need to have. Is like, is that something that is going to have to be teched against? Can you tech against it and stop it from happening? I will tell you, scanning officer is stonks up, baby.
Yep.
Get me some scanning officers, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I think scanning officer will start becoming like a main staple if people run round 1. Like, yeah, go ahead, put down your DJ and your tech or one of them, and you're gonna lose it round 1. Like, it's just, you know, I don't know. There's ways to play around it, but I do think that scanning officer could be better. So if you want to make a bunch of money, go buy all the hyperfoils of that, and then wait till everybody starts running it and resell them. So
I have a hyperfoil scanning officer, actually.
oh, do you? I do not.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
real
as lucky
pretty.
as you. Yeah, I am not as lucky as you. I actually been running that card since the beginning of that set. So like, that was a staple card of my Kira deck. But, all right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. This has been another amazing episode. It would be amazing if you could us as with a follow on YouTube or a follow on our Podbean. We'd love to see that. You're welcome to subscribe to all of our other platforms, but those are the 2 main ones: is our Podbean and our YouTube. It would be awesome. They're also like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. We are going to be doing a few more giveaways and some crazy things, and maybe we'll do some interaction with fans. I don't know. We'll figure something out. With that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the flippity flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.